Hello and welcome to Cartoon Academy Class 7. I am Cartoon Ray and I am super stoked to be here with you today. We've been doing this class now for 3.5 weeks. I've been super excited about how much people have responded to it. I've gotten tons of really nice notes. I've seen a bunch of really awesome homework come out of my students. And this is a great jumping on point. If you're just watching this now, if you've never seen me before, if you don't know what's going on, this is a cool moment to jump on. The class is 100% free, 100% voluntary, and it's really a no pressure thing. You can just watch and have fun, or you can participate. And I'll start. Oh wait, let's see. We do need a little hand on this particular sponge. Okay, there's his hand.
Knock, knock.
I'm on TikTok right now.
I'm sorry, I was just reading the comments and people really want the eye fully drawn in.
The eye fully drawn in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Justice.
Yeah.
She's looking out for you, you guys. I would
Make
have...
sure they start listening to the class and not just screaming about the eye.
That's so funny. Thank you. Good looking out.
Yeah.
You guys, you have a guardian angel in the form of my wife, Justice, who is reading the comments and looking out for you guys. Watch now. There's going to be some demand where everyone tries to get her to come in and say something else to me shortly. Okay. There we go. There's your SpongeBob. This is Cartoon Academy. We are in class 7. We're going to start with a little bit of review. Okay, so this is my way of giving back to a growing community that's been incredibly supportive of me. This is a free class that's meant as an introductory course to cartooning, but my idea is that while I'm doing this introductory cartooning stuff, I'll talk about my artistic philosophy. I'm an artist. I've been doing this since I was 5. I do a lot of things, but I always come back to cartooning. My fundamental belief here is that drawing is good for you. It's a calming, centering activity, and it's a way that you can focus your energy. And I've always found, people say this thing to me, hey, have you ever tried meditating? And I'm like, yes, I have tried meditating, and I hate it because I can't sit still and focus on nothing. But what I can do is sit still and focus on drawing. And I can, whether you're doodling or doing a serious piece of art, drawing is a way that you can have focus in a way that I don't think a lot of other activities give you. That's my central premise. The other principle that I have is that everyone's too critical of themselves. People start drawing and they're like, I suck, I can't do this, I quit. And that bums me out because nobody is good at it. No baby comes into the world just killing it as an artist. Some people show early talent or promise, but no one comes in just doing it awesome. Everyone has to accumulate practice and experience and time. And so my goal with this class is to get people to be less critical when they're learning. Don't beat yourself up while you're making work. This class started with me. Actually, I'll tell you, all of these classes, this is class 7. All of these classes are archived on YouTube, so you can go back and watch the other classes. They're all a tight half an hour, and you can review all the work there. I've been assigning homework, and the homework is optional, but if you complete 75% of the homework over the course of the time that we do this class, I will give you a certificate. Everyone loves to point out the fact that the certificate is meaningless, and technically it is meaningless, except that it'll have your name on it, and I will verify that this person actually put in time and worked with me. And it won't get you a job, but it will be something that has your name on it that you can put on your wall that's from me that says, this person worked. There's a cheat sheet in the Dropbox on my website, cartoonray.com. And the new cheat sheet is basically the first 6 homework assignments made easy for you. So you can catch up on homework. There's no such thing as late homework. And Cartoon Academy. There's no such thing as late homework, so just go do the homework and catch up. You can catch up. You can start the homework on the last day of class and catch up, and I'll still give you the certificate. I don't care. Okay, we're 10 minutes in. We got to get moving. Day 1, what I said was quantity over quality. You have a critic in your brain and you have a creator in your brain, and they won't work at the same time. As soon as you bring the critic in, the creative part of your brain shuts down and goes away. So my challenge to you is to focus only on quantity. The first class was just draw as much as you can. And there's 2 sides to that. There's speed, where you just crank it out. And then there's calm. And for calm, the number one thing is breathe in and then draw a line while you're breathing out, and breathe out like this. We're looking for ways to calm down. If you're bringing nervous energy to your paper, you're gonna get chunky drawings. And what I get the most positive feedback about for me is that I have steady lines and that I can be precise. And the way that I've gotten there is A, a lot of practice, and B, finding ways to do it in relaxed, easy fashion. And that comes from, never telling anyone to calm down. Telling somebody to calm down just upsets people, right? Calm down, that's like number one way to freak somebody out. But if you say, focus on your breath, that's another thing that doesn't make any sense. That's like, have you tried meditating? But when I say focus on your breath, I just mean literally breathe slowly and audibly. So let's draw a circle, breath in, and on breath out. Did they tell you to tell me something else?
They're still unhappy that SpongeBob's pupil is not colored in fully.
That SpongeBob's pupil is not colored in fully.
They won't shut up about it.
Good Lord, you guys. Watch all the viewership goes away. They're like, we got what we wanted. Everyone, peace out. He colored it in. We can all turn off the stream now.
I had to tell them to let it go, and they would not.
Well, not everyone has mastered the art of accepting imperfection the way I have. Okay, so that was the first class. It's like going to the gym. It's not reasonable to expect yourself to lift heavy weights right out of the gate. You need to start with small weights and build up. I totally did lose a bunch of people watching when I did that. I should have kept it just to frustrate you guys and keep you engaged. You're not going to lift heavy weights right away. You're not going to draw perfect circles right away. Don't expect yourself to. But if you start trying, over time you build the experience. The second week of class was all about objects in front of one another. This is like pretty obvious, I know, but like when you draw something and then another line butts into it, our brain imagines that that line continues. So this is the number one trick that you need to just always keep in mind when you are drawing, is that anytime a line butts into another line, we have a tendency to assume that the line continues. And this is the trick that I'm using over and over again. It's sort of what I look for when I'm going to draw anything, is what can I draw first that is uninterrupted? In the case of Sonic the Hedgehog, that means every single time I draw the nose first, because it's a perfect shape with no interruption. Then I see that I can use that to build his jaw or jowl or whatever this part of him is called off of that. And I keep building based off of where I can have other lines butt into pre-existing parts of the character. We talked about drawing a self-portrait in that class, fundamentally going for a very basic head shape. choosing a hair type, whether it's, you know, standard issue boy, standard issue girl, non-descriptive, I guess. I don't mean to be binary here, by the way. And then pick your eye type. Pick your nose type. Pick your nose. And pick your mouth shape. We talked about self-portraiture there. The fundamental thing is getting shapes to be in front of each other. We moved on from there the following week to talk about hands. Hands is as simple as using a repeating curve shape. This kind of builds on that thing from the previous week where we're thinking about what's in front most. And when we're drawing hands, I want you to think about the first thing I'm seeing in a hand facing this way is that curve, and I can build off of that to create the rest of the hand. And over time, we just practice it more. When you're doing a breakdown of a hand, it's helpful. I know that drawing to make fingers fit on the hand can be quite a challenge. And my pitch to you there is to mark where the fingers are going to start and end before you begin so that you can know what you're aiming back at. I even made these fingers a little bit too big. Hands are a big challenge, but you can get them over time. You just have to be patient. Open hands are harder, so I highly recommend just starting with that. You can almost just do the same curve shape in both directions and then build like that. You could mirror it in the other direction, right? It's just that same curve thing twice. This is a 3-finger hand. I'll make it a, I'll give it the 4th finger there. Okay. And we're almost current. Oops, sorry, I was off camera there a bit. Last class, we talked about bodies. And bodies, to me, everyone knows what a stick figure is like. I know a lot of people think they can't draw even a stick figure. And my pitch to you is that the stick figure is the worst way to start drawing a body. You're much better off if you can start with a torso that has some volume to it. So you're not just drawing a straight line down, you are drawing, off camera again, sorry, a big body that you can then build off of. This one will be, I guess this is Mickey Mouse. Who knew? But when you're drawing a stick figure, it's really hard to build anything out of a stick figure because if you trace around a stick figure, you just wind up with a thing that looks like this, and that's not, it's just the, it's the crosswalk sign. It's nothing. But if you trace around this other figure that I just did, even if you didn't do hands and feet, you'd still wind up with something that looks like this. And that little bit of volume in the torso really makes a big difference. We talked about thinking about that central shape as a circle to start. I like to always imagine any circle I'm drawing. I try to think about it as a sphere. Always think about what the three-dimensional curve around the shapes that you're drawing, what you'd like them to be, even though that's really up to your viewer's imagination, but it's helpful for you to know, especially if you want to do something like add an outfit, then you can kind of know where you're going to map it. And the homework for last class was to draw 20 figures in this style. And what I was hoping you would get out of that is just the experience of creating bodies, creating heads, and then just having fun. It doesn't really matter what you do. just create those limbs, and all of a sudden you have characters. One thing that's really helpful is to draw your limbs as curves. If you just do straight lines, it feels pretty static, pretty flat, but if everything just gets ever so slight a curve, like so, then you wind up with a character who feels a little bit moving. And that's actually a great jumping on point for today's real content. So when you think about the human body, when you think about any structure, right, bones are solid. So if you really wanted to draw something anatomically correct, right, this is the other problem with a stick figure. You wind up drawing something that looks like this, right? It's all straight lines, right? Hard angles at those knees and elbows and ankles and wrists potentially too. But when you're drawing, what I would propose you do is same thing where you have that central torso, but instead of drawing a hard angle, draw the basic curve that would fill that same amount of space. We are drawing cartoons, and curves are essential to cartoons. They are fundamentally playful, loose designs that are meant to move, that are meant to be animated. And what's more, if I draw a leg and the leg looks like this, and then later I come back and want to make it realistic, I can add the detail to it. I can make it a full leg. But the way we really move, if I did that same leg and kind of curved it, the way we really move is much more fluid. So using that curve and kind of fitting my detail, the meat of the character around that curve is going to give me something that feels more alive. You can get something that might be technically accurate using those straight lines for your figures, but I'm going to suggest, this is a very art school thing, but I'm going to suggest that, I mean, fundamentally, any character you're going to draw should have one big arch, one big curve to them. You could start like that, and then, okay, I have my main curve. Now I'm going to make the torso go along with it, and I'm going to decide that this is one leg, so that over here, the other leg's going to come there, and the arms will go like that. Start thinking in curves. The second your character is a straight line, even with the added weight of an actual volume torso, but once you're dealing in straight lines, it's gonna have it's gonna be kind of dead. This same basic figure, if I start there, but I just give him a little angle like that, all of a sudden I've got this character who is going to have a little bit of, you know, it might be that this leg has to kind of come out to support, and this leg is going to go there. Now we have, you know, nobody really stands straight up. We all are putting our weight on one foot, number one, to begin with. Right? There's one foot that is holding up the bulk of your weight. The other foot is supporting, but one foot is doing most of the work, and that's worth being aware of when you're drawing characters. So that when you are creating a character pose, you can get something that feels like a unified single movement, you know? So if I wanted to draw somebody running, I might have them leaning real far forward. I know that's a straight line, but here, let me do a better example. I want them to run, so I'm gonna put their head there, and then have that curve, so that now when I draw the foot and I draw that torso, I can decide that the other foot is going to come forward like that. Other arm is going to go like that. And I have something that has a unified movement to it. Start thinking in big, full character curves. And then, well, actually, let me just double check my notes here. Here are my notes for this class that I totally wrote and then didn't pay attention to. And then all of a sudden we're talking about something that brings it all together, right? We started this class talking about circles, and what I'm asking you to do is start these characters with circles. Again, I don't care if it's perfect, right? That's fine if this is the circle that you get. It's okay to get that circle and then go back. If you wind up with something weird, if this is your initial circle, you can keep going until you get the circle that you want. It doesn't matter. I'm drawing with a pen, you're drawing with a pencil, maybe you might be drawing with pen too. Imperfection is the only thing there is. There is no perfection. That's why I don't worry about SpongeBob not having his pupils filled in. I don't care. Imperfection is the state of the universe. Nothing is perfect, but you can work to get better. Just let's say that's my first, I'm trying to do a circle. That's my first circle. Well, what do I see? I'm either going to need to cut away from it and go for a smaller circle, or I'm going to need to add on to the outside to get more of a circle. But any of this stuff, think of yourself at a pottery wheel. You can shape these things up. And the second thing we had in class, the second week of class, was putting things in front and behind. So when I'm putting arms here, they're coming out right to the side. But if we had the same character and we wanted the hand to, we wanted them facing sideways, we wanted that hand to come like that, I want you to think about what we said with hands in front, or lines in front of and behind, because now I can imply that this arm is closer to us and this arm is behind us. I can imply that the hand is closer to us than the arm in the back here because I draw the thumb coming in front. This one, I always find it really helpful to draw hands kind of behind the wrist. You sort of think of the wrist as being closer. I know you can't see, but think of the wrist as being closer. And the same way, down here with a leg, sorry, I know it's off camera. I'm making that mistake a lot today. Same way with a leg. So you kind of getting that same, you can imagine there's a curved line that's coming all the way through this guy. And then this leg's going to be behind, and you can tell because it's butting into that line, and my brain is just telling me that it probably continues back there. This one probably continues back there. And then we get into hands. Bringing that arm out from that body. Then I want you to take the hand stuff that we've already worked on and add a hand. And all of a sudden, what you're going to wind up with is circle, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, so there we go. It takes me a second sometimes to remember which side hand I'm drawing. Anyone else ever struggle with left and right? I did. I had to learn a trick for it in like 4th grade. I really couldn't do left and right off the top of my head. And using those little lines to indicate, like right there, like right here, like right there, where the line is in front and where it is behind. Similarly, down here, you can say this leg is coming in front. You know, this character with all of his limbs in front of the rest of his body starts to make me think of a turtle. But down here, you know, draw shoes, draw socks. These lines coming out from behind the others helps me create a sense of depth. And now I'm going to make him a bit of a Ninja Turtle. Your homework, if you choose to accept it, and some of you will, I know, because some of you are really knocking it out of the park with the homework, is to draw a full body character with hands, with arms, with outlines. I don't care if you dress them up. You can make it another self-portrait. You can put them in a costume. But I want to see a full character drawn in this style. And that's the homework that I want you to do. With that, it is 4 o'clock, and I am going to say thank you so much for being here. I've been absolutely thrilled with the support and love I've gotten doing these Cartoon Academy classes. Next week, we are coming back together, and we're going to work on faces. So please, I created the event for the next Cartoon Academy. Please sign up for that. It's on Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. It's going to be a blast. All of the information for this class is on a Dropbox on my website, cartoonray.com. Go to cartoonray.com and click on the Cartoon Academy link, and you'll see a button that says Class Resources. And there you'll have the class outline, a review sheet that I wrote for today, the homework cheat sheet, and other useful things.